Hey guys, it's the Crypto Dealer here and welcome back to another video. Now, last time I mentioned that I was going to start a series on how to trade altcoins to make Bitcoin. So here's the first solid video on that. I'm going to go over some of the common techniques I use, what exchanges to use, and ways to detect what's worthwhile in buying or not. I'm going to start off today with a guide on how to make money off trading low cap coins. Now, the meaning of low caps has changed a lot over the last few years. I remember a time when low cap coins used to classify as coins under a $50,000 market cap, and I remember that coin devs used to be really happy if their coin opened up with a $10,000 or above market cap. But these days I'd say that anything under a $5 million market cap is kind of classed as a low cap now. Now that could just be that, you know, the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency world is in a bit of a bubble right now, because I think that most values of coin is definitely not worth what their market cap reflects. However, that's what people use to judge the market cap off, so that's kind of how you have to trade it. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. Okay, so the hub for all low cap coins is definitely bitcointalk.org. This is mostly a site for Bitcoin discussions. However, there is an alternative cryptocurrency area here, which is where a lot of people make announcements on new or upcoming coins. Now, when you see it, there are 412 pages of announcements, which is pretty crazy. What I thought we'd do was just pick a few at random off this front page and go over some of the things that you should be looking for and some of the things that should be red flagged. Okay, so I've picked three completely at random here. The first is Neodash. Now, generally a rule I have with trading coins is that if a coin's trying to knock off another brand or combine names of coins, you know, like Litecoin Cash, there's like Zethrium or something as well. Generally, I'd be very surprised if they had any kind of long-term future. So my initial instinct with this coin would be to maybe stay away from it. However, let's go further in and see what there actually is. It's a nice banner. Neodash is an experimental new digital currency that enables anonymous instant payments to anyone, anywhere in the world. Wow. Okay, so the first protocol really with any coin is looking at the stats, which you can see here. Ideally you want a reasonable supply, and it's always worth checking out what the algorithm is. Block time should be ideally with under 5 minutes per block, otherwise, you know, it might take a while to transfer the coins. This coin in particular here is a masternode coin, so if you hold a certain amount of coins and run a node, you're gonna gain a share of rewards for each block that you help process. Okay, so this is something you always want to watch out with, is the pre-mine. So the pre-mine here is actually fairly acceptable. It would amount for just over 300,000 coins. Anything over 5% pre-mine I'd be wary about, especially if it's a POW coin, which is a proof of work coin. With tokens, I wouldn't say so much that it's much of an issue, because generally the whole supply will be out there and stuff. When a proof of work coin begins its lifespan, 1.25% of the coins could actually account for nearly 100% of all the coins for the first few days, which isn't something you want if you are buying into the market, because there's just going to be loads of dumps potentially. The roadmap here. Now, roadmaps have kind of become a staple of any coin now. I think it's very strange if a coin doesn't launch without a roadmap now, but there used to be a point where it would just kind of be a wait and see, and miners or whoever was interested in the coin would just kind of have to be a bit potluck with it. It's not the most ambitious roadmap, if I'm honest. They just want to launch a website, a wallet, list on some exchanges, and then do some social media campaigns and a few apps. It isn't revolutionary at all, but if the development team here continue to be able to release things to a high standard and quickly and efficiently, then that's the sort of thing that will get low cap investors excited, because it shows that the development team's serious about taking the coin forward. Good to see that they have a GitHub link and they also have a downloadable wallet. Now, if you're someone who's into running master nodes, the minimum amount here to run a node is actually pretty small, which might be a really great way to earn a few coins and accumulate here instead of mining. There's also a few mining pools, which is essential if you want to mine the coin. One other thing you want to check is it trading anywhere, because that's going to be pretty important if you're wanting to get involved in this. It seems to be trading on a globecryptomarkets.com. I've never heard of this before. There is a sell order for 3. Honestly, there's not any point trying to get involved in the market because there is no market right now. There's also this one. Okay, there seems to be a bit more activity here. They've got 0.35 of a Bitcoin's worth of volume. There does seem to be a bit of an order book here. Can we meet that? Yeah, there does seem to be a bit of an order book here, but it's pretty thin in liquidity. Something that you should always do with new coins is figure out the market cap, so we're going to do that. First of all, I'm just going to see if it's listed on CoinMarketCap. This is kind of like my go-to for just pulling information off any coin. Okay, it's not even on CoinMarketCap yet, which doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad coin. It could just be early in launch, so it could just potentially be an opportunity for you to get in on the ground level. This is like the old school way to find out about the coin supply. You need to find the block explorer. Here we go. So currently there are 404,000 coins. You should be able to find out the value compared to the price. So the price was about, quick math, 60.6 Bitcoin market cap, which is $1 million. You know, the coin itself, the fundamentals are about 5 out of 10, but the price here and the lack of stuff on offer, it makes it really not worth anyone's time. Unless you're going to get a monopoly on this coin and make sure it goes on to do big things, then it's a 1 out of 10 for me on the investing. The next one I clicked at random was Primobase. Now, initially this kind of has a bit more of a professional feel, at least. You know, there's some kind of solid looking images. They also already have a website set up. Oh, so they're based in Berlin. Oh, and they also have a full team profile. This is looking fairly promising, although never take this at your face value. I think you should always do research into the names and see if there's any credibility behind them all. There's been some classics like Equinox coin where they launched with like a lovely announcement page. They had team members and stuff, and then they dumped a huge pre-mine and ran off with a lot of coins and profit, and the developer sent a picture of what seemed to be himself in a hotel room posing in a fancy dressing gown, kind of being a bit like, hey, screw you. So I definitely do some research into these people. They've quoted some quotes from various kind of reputable developers in the cryptocurrency sphere. It seems like none of them actually have any relation particularly to this page. So this appears to be some sort of ICO. Okay, you can buy it on an exchange. Is it on CoinMarketCap? Appears to be a Waves token. It's not really a low cap coin at all, really. Okay, so the next one is an airdrop coin. They're pretty popular these days. The supply here is fairly okay, but there's also a 20% pre-mine for the development team, so that's maybe something to watch out for in the future. There's very little here actually. They don't have a website or a roadmap or even like a coin logo or anything right now, which I feel are pretty important things to have when you're launching a coin, because to me they're the very basics, because that's just saying what the coin is and what's it about. You have to be very selective in what you select to invest in with new coins, because the chances are a lot of them won't survive the first month or two of their launch. I'm not sure entirely how this is a promising project. There's not so much of a problem that there's no images or anything, but they do help. The problem is that it's a newbie account and you can't post images when you have a newbie account, so it already looks a little dry, but there's no content at all on the page. I'm not sure how this has gained 43 pages worth of activity. That amount of pages for a very unpromising project is astounding. I remember a time when even the most popular coins only had 50 or 60 pages, but to be fair, this was like 2013, 2014. Yeah, on to the next one. Okay, so here's another one called Pioneer Coin. It looks fairly promising, to be fair. At least it has a logo, you know. It's basically just the beat sign upside down, right? But, you know, they have their own website, which we'll give a look at, their own GitHub. There's a Windows and Linux wallet, which is handy. It appears that the algorithm to mine it is X11. Not sure if they've got any pools. I'm sure that'll probably be down below. Okay, so they've got a nice little roadmap here. In December 2017 they're planning to make sure that you can trade Pcoin with fiat currencies. I'm not sure how viable that is. I probably need to look into the status of it, but that's the sort of thing that is promising and shows a bit of forward thinking. Self-development portal, that sounds a wee bit lazy, doesn't it? It seems to be kind of social media based. they're going to partnership with people in March 2018. You know, everywhere has to start somewhere, but it's a little too vague. You know, it is a nice little roadmap, you know, it catches the eye. I'm not sure how realistic or successful some of these ventures will be. I think if they can make sure they can develop the software end of things, other things might come to it. You can't guarantee things like blockchain partnerships. The end goal seems to be debit card launch. This has become a pretty popular idea in recent times. I wouldn't necessarily trust a lot of these. Even the established Bitcoin debit card things like Zappo, etc., they're in a bit of a grey area around the use of using like Visa debit cards, because it probably would have to be a Visa debit card if you wanted to be actually accepted or used anywhere. It's already listed on Cryptopia, unless they got listed on Cryptopia for free. It costs quite a lot to get listed on Cryptopia these days, so maybe that's a good sign if they're showing some resources behind them and the intention to get the coin accessible to as many people as possible. Let's see what it's like on Cryptopia, the market. Okay, it says the total coins is 23 million. I'm not sure if they'll all be circulating, especially if it's a minor coin. Okay, this gives it a market cap of about 69 bitcoins, which I feel in the current climate of altcoins today is actually a fairly reasonable price for what they seem to have on offer. There doesn't seem to be a huge amount of releases yet, so I'd be a little cautious about getting involved in it right now. Something also to take into account is that if the amount of coins mined is still pretty low, there's going to be a point where there's going to be a large influx of coins coming into the market. They might not be able to sustain the current price, especially when there's not a lot of buy support. I'm going to show you a few handy Twitter accounts I use to monitor low cap coins, because I don't often have time to sit and trawl through Bitcoin talk. The first is Ubic Anbot. So Ubic's actually a pretty popular coin these days. It trades on Bittrex. They've been running this announcement bot for the last few years. Generally, they post kind of the higher quality announcements. They have a filter, so like spammy or poor looking announcements won't come through and be posted. So it is a good way to keep track of what's coming along. Instantly, there's kind of like ones I definitely wouldn't go for. Things like Cheat Coin, introduction of Jionggon Moon, co-founder in Linker Coin. I tend to stay away from the ICOs unless they have some sort of reputable escrow or security behind them. The second one is crypto airdrops. I follow this one just to keep an eye out, but I don't actually often claim many of the airdrops because they do look like junk. Super Bitcoin 2 is airdropping. This one's actually interesting. I actually took part in the CMIX airdrop. You know, if you're someone who's just starting off, I'd recommend trying to follow every possible airdrop that's posted as possible, because at the end of the day it's free money. A lot of them won't become anything, but if you can get a good price for them, then you know it doesn't really matter if they're good or not. One thing I would note is that you should be really careful depending on the sort of information they're requesting, because if they're asking for things like private keys or passwords or whatever, then there's a good chance that it's a scam. Generally the ones on crypto airdrops are kind of reviewed beforehand before they announce. But yeah, it definitely saves me a bit of time following both of those accounts. I used to trade a lot of low caps in the past. One thing to note with low cap coins is that the liquidity is often pretty poor and you really have to claw for every profit. Whenever I'm involved in really low cap coins, especially in the past, I'd often be sat there like making sure my bids were near the front. There isn't as many people involved in the market, so you really need to capitalize when someone does sell or buy, so that you are in a winning position. If you find coins that have a lot of potential, you should still be really careful and don't overexpose, because there's been times where coins have promised or released great things and then completely disappear just so that the developers could dump the coins. These days that isn't as common. For coins that require proof of work, i.e. you need a miner to take part in them, a good website, if you don't have a miner yourself or want to mine different types of algorithms, then it's definitely worth checking out Mining Rig Rentals. I've used this website quite a lot. They have a wide range of different types of algorithms. Script and SHA-256 were the most common ones for the last few years, but now you're starting to see a lot of X11 and people making their own alternative algorithms. The best way to try and pick out the best ones is the price per mega hashes a day. These are all actually fairly powerful miners. Ones that are into the gigahash will definitely be able to power through and get a solid share of the coins, but they're often more expensive. This one actually seems pretty interesting because you can mine for 720 hours in one go, because it can be a little bit annoying trying to renew rentals or find new ones every 12 hours or so. One thing that I would note is that sometimes the service of them goes down, or the pool you're mining in isn't compatible with it, especially if it's a more powerful rig, and in that case there's a pretty good support system here, and you can get refunds if the rig isn't performing to the standard you thought it would. Definitely go and explore CoinMarketCap. There's a wide range of information here, and also on each page it gives you links to every website and forums or block explorers. This is the Bitcoin one here, which you can see is at a crazy $256 billion market cap right now. I have no words. It also tells you things like the circulating supply of the coin, which can be handy if you're trying to figure out how much inflation a coin is going to experience over the next year or so. These days we've got over 300 coins with a $10 million market cap, which is pretty incredible considering it took about $1 million market cap to be in the top 100 about a year ago. Okay, so this is where you're going to start seeing all the lower cap ones. The thing with low cap coins in general though is that if you can find a solid coin with some potential, then hold on to it, but be willing to cut things at loss and don't expose yourself to it too much. That's a bit of an insight into low cap coins. Hopefully you've picked up something pretty cool here. The next video is going to be on mid caps, which will be similar in structure, but you know, I'm probably not going to be using things like Bitcoin Talk to go over coins and stuff. Remember to like and subscribe, and if you could follow me on Twitter, that would be fantastic. I'll hopefully get the next video out in the next 2 or 3 days, but I've been too busy admiring the Bitcoin price. I'll see you later. Thanks for watching and have a good day.